So, Dieter, how do you go from Nokia to BMW?
It was just a change of jobs, but actually there was more behind.
Right.
I was always working in technology companies, pretty cyclical ones like semiconductors, and then the mobility industry. And I think it was really tough to see on one side how we could build a digital services business for hundreds of millions of people, especially in the developing markets like India, the African markets, etc., where Nokia was historically very, very strong. And at the same time to see how one of the most loved brands and a really dominating market player was disrupted with the arrival of the iPhone. And so when I decided to not to go to China or the US and changed my jobs, I think BMW was really a cool choice because it's a premium car manufacturer. I mean, heavy investments in R&D and new technologies. And I think the car industry is one of the core industries in Europe. And I think it's really an industry which faces biggest changes across different industries. And there's a convergence of themes right now happening with autonomous driving, electrification, connectivity, new digital players coming into that space and trying to get into the customer interface there. So it's really exciting times to be part of that journey, I think.
We talked a lot about the connected car as a smartphone on wheels. With your background, how are you helping BMW not become the next Nokia?
Yeah, that's I mean, I hate to lose, so that's one thing. I think we have a unique chance at BMW because BMW historically invested already years ago in digital experiences, even though these were vehicle-centric experiences with our connected drive portfolio. So today we have already 8.5 million connected cars in the market equipped with SIM cards and connectivity. And I had the opportunity basically to build a totally new approach for digital for the company from scratch, leveraging the assets we have. And I think there was a lot of freedom in doing what I think is required in order to compete in that space going forward and really provide user experiences in the car and outside of the car which really drive customer value.
Right. Let's fast forward, say, to 2025. And, you know, the typical BMW customer, an executive commuting to work in his 7 Series sedan, he's got all the frills, all the features. What is his drive to work going to be like?
I hope obviously a 7 Series is good, but I hope he would use the new iVision concept car, which is fully electric and which is really going to be very cool. Obviously, I'm surprised about the time horizon you're asking me because digital is much shorter cycles. So if I probably knew what's going to happen in 2025 exactly, I wouldn't need to work anymore. But there's obviously a few things which are important for that time horizon you are alluding to. The first thing is there will be a combination of different technologies, which means autonomous driving, connectivity, intelligence in the car, and electrification. And the three of them, they really play together because if you're driving autonomously, there's a lot of other stuff you can do in the car. If you're driving autonomously, probably your car interior, your user experience in the car is completely changing because it's probably more an extension of your office, of your home. So a lot of things are possible, but I believe that through personalization, context-relevant experiences, your car probably would know already when to leave. It would alert you. It would stand in front of your door, pick you up, fully charged with an optimum charging pattern. You would approach your car, you get into your car, and your car is fully personalized and adjusted to your personal profile, which is basically powering your car. You would take your digital life with you, the content you consume outside of the car to consume it inside the car. Your office would be there, and things like that are happening already today. We have a full Office 365 integration in the car that you can do work there. And then you would probably totally differently interact with your car. And I think one of the core topics there is what we call the intelligent personal assistant, which probably many of you are using already at home, but which will totally change interaction in a very conversational way with the car and with the driving experience. So these are some of the things which are probably happening earlier already,
right,
since it's going to be very iterative, but they will definitely be part of the solution in 2025.
How connected is the car now?
We are basically delivering 90% of our fleet with full connectivity. So we can basically bring digital experiences into the car and manage and control the car either through smartphone, through your Amazon devices from home, through web, through all types of digital touch points or like smartwatch. So the car is becoming a real integrated part of the digital life of people. I mean, a very powerful computer on wheels, basically.
Right. So when you talk about a personal ID, right, a digital identity, is that limited to the car I own? What happens because in the future, supposedly, fewer people are going to own their own car, and so I may want a BMW digital ID, but I don't own a car. I want to car share or rent a car.
So through the BMW ID, basically, which we are scaling right now, so we have 1.8 million users already on our platform. We are able to respond, and I think this is important going forward, to all types of business models in the future, whether you own a car or you use the sharing economy there. Because, I mean, what we want is that you always have your personal experience with the car and in the car, whether it's your own car or a shared car. So if I'm going, for example, here in Berlin into a Drive Now car, what should happen is that your next destination is already in the car, in the navigation system when you get in, even though it's not your car, because it's powered by your profile, because our profile knows where you want to go, et cetera, et cetera. So our cloud platform, which powers the car, is able to work with owned or shared cars. And I think this is becoming very, very important going forward.
So what do you have to do as a car company today in order to create that ecosphere, you know, to have a digital identity for a customer who steps into the car recognizes that person, knows who it is, and knows what their last settings were. Just like today, I open up my Google browser and it opens up the pages I had on last time. So, what do you have to do as a car company? You know, the infrastructure, maybe partners. What kind of technology do you have to develop yourself in order to make that happen?
So we decided on basically building in-house capabilities, development capabilities. To basically build the service experiences like an internet company would do. Very agile, very short release cycles compared to the long release cycles of a car, of the car industry, the traditional one. And we partnered up basically with Microsoft and Amazon on different topics. With Microsoft, we use their cloud infrastructure, Azure, their machine learning capabilities in order basically to build the core, the nucleus which powers the car, and build the experiences on top. And with Amazon, we are working basically on new interaction models, like the integration of Amazon Echo in the car to drive basically interaction with new ecosystems. So it's a combination of really managing through own development resources the core and the platform, and then bringing in basically multiplicators which allow us which allow our customers to bring in their ecosystems and their digital experiences they are used to at home.
I have to interrupt you because I didn't understand a word you said. Can we put that into just a more user-friendly language so that what is it? You have to have a cloud setup. You need what do you actually need, and what will the user do with all of this stuff?
It's a simple comparison to what everybody is used to from his smartphone.
Right.
You have your Apple ID or whatsoever, and you take it with you, and that is what we will also have for the car. Whenever you get a new car, you have your BMW ID, it basically configures your car like you would like to have it. And this profile, this personal profile is growing the more you experience with BMW as a brand. So that really this profile powers the interaction with your car. That's a simple thing, and it makes it very easy to switch between cars. And all of that happens obviously in the cloud somewhere, and the customer doesn't need to care. But it really helps him to personalize the experience in the car. Right. Climatization is set at the temperature you normally always have. Your seatings are arranged as you want it. Your calendar from your office environment are automatically imported into your navigation system, one click and you're off to go. So all of these things will happen in a very natural way because the car knows what to do.
Okay, that's helpful. Artificial intelligence, is the car taking control of my life, or does, what does artificial intelligence actually do for me in the vehicle?
It's funny because 2 years ago it was all about big data, now it's all about artificial intelligence. I mean, we are using artificial intelligence or machine learning capabilities for our autonomous driving activities, which a colleague is responsible for, in order to get really to a level 5 stage.
So level 5 stage is no steering wheel.
It's basically a robot car. Right. Yeah. So that is one part of AI for us in the automotive industry. For my products and services, machine learning is important because you can do simple things to make the customer experience better. For example, if somebody always leaves the house at 6:30 in the morning because he goes to work, why not pre-configure the car already, because we know where he's going to, we know the outside temperature, the car is personalized when you approach it, and you're done. So we have these learning algorithms built into our platform in order to make life much easier for our customers, to remove all these switches and manual interaction you have today with the car, and because we just know what you want.
Mm-hmm. So is my car going to, call me on Wednesday and say, Bill, do you want to go bowling again?
At least the car will tell you, probably you go to the service point, because I mean, winter is coming and you should basically change your winter tires.
It's more mission critical kind of.
Yeah, I mean, we are not trying to emulate the world of digital experiences, but focus around BMW and the core product we have.
But would my car have access to my Google Calendar, for example?
Today, we are basically integrating the full Office experience as well as the Apple Calendar if you want it, which is helpful because if you have an address in your calendar and in your appointment, it is automatically sent into the car and basically triggers the navigation system. So you basically do not need to fiddle around with the navigation system anymore. So these things happen if you as a customer want it.
Right. So when we talk about the disruption that's happening in the auto industry, we talk about the car now as a smartphone on wheels. And the thing about the smartphone is not just that it has all of these cool things that I can play with, but it's a commerce platform. It's a place for a lot of people to do business. It's a relatively open platform for developers. Is BMW going to open the door for outside developers to come in and build things for its customers?
So we are leveraging outside innovation, of course, because it wouldn't make any sense to build another music streaming platform for us. But the big difference between smartphone platforms and our product is we are selling 2.5 million cars a year. Right. And I mean, there is 1.8 billion smartphones sold per year. So that is of much more interest for developers to work on that. What you see reflected in the app stores with millions of apps, which basically nobody downloads to the biggest extent. So what we have chosen to do is we are developing experiences ourselves for managing, controlling, personalizing the car, so close to our heart. We are having an open interface for third parties, which means Spotify integration, other experiences can be easily brought from your mobile into the car. So we are getting that piece fixed. And then we have partnered basically with two of the industry giants from the internet space, Microsoft and Amazon. Right. Amazon, especially for their commerce capabilities and the speech capabilities with Amazon Alexa, and Microsoft obviously a lot on the productivity side with Office 365 and these things to get those experiences people are used to into the car in a seamless way.
So as a commerce platform, it's about how do you make money with the digitalization of the automobile, right? So where does BMW actually see opportunities to create revenue? This is after-sale revenue. So you've sold the car, someone owns it, and now you have an opportunity to use that platform to make more money. Where do you see the opportunities for BMW as a representative of most car makers, because everyone's thinking about this?
So I think it's a big change in the business model, because today, when the car leaves the factory, it is finished, it is done. But for us, building digital services, the car just begins to live like a consumer electronics device. And that means we need to have the commerce capabilities in order to drive additional revenue over lifetime, which is also very, very new for a car company, because the car company basically doesn't know the customer. That's the first thing, because we have a model with the dealerships in between, and suddenly we are interacting directly with our customers. And we have today already an in-car store and a web store where you can buy digital services products, like we are provisioning traffic information to you for 3 years and things like that, which you can purchase. And that is going to be expanded and much more critical for the future. But you can also really personalize and customize your car. For example, you could order special pieces with 3D printing, which pimps your car. You could free up additional horsepower, because we know that your next trip to Italy, is on a motorway where there's no traffic jam right now. You get 50 horsepower more. Transaction for, let's say, a day or 8 hours. You can basically free up your seat heating, which we built into the car, because we know the context the driver is in. He leaves in the morning, he's home, it's pretty cold outside, so we could offer him a try and buy for 2 weeks to try the seat heating, and then we transact on the seat heating. So we move basically the business potential from the point of sale over the life cycle of the car.
So features become on-demand services,
Yes.
rather than something fixed into the car. I don't need seat heating in the summer.
Right.
But
that would mean we would not play out this offer to you in the summer when it is 30 degrees, but when it's contextually relevant to you, which means, it's probably a pretty damn cold morning and you would love to have it.
So are you going to bombard the driver on his big screen with
No.
with advertising?
No. First, we don't see the real estate in the car as an advertisement platform, because the inventory you have for ads is much too low. Nobody will be interested in that one, and it's not our business model. We are selling a premium car, and that's what everybody needs to remember.
Right.
And so, but what we are doing is contextually relevant. We will offer you upsides to our product. But for example, a winter tire campaign, I would not send to you while driving in the middle of Berlin, but probably it would make sense to play it out on your mobile when you're sitting on your sofa at home, and then you can transact on it.
Right. My last question is about, this is a great vision. Some of it is reality. The connected car depends on connectivity. And as we all know, traveling on the Autobahn in Germany, on the trains, connectivity is sometimes a fairly scarce resource. What needs to happen in the things outside of your control as a car maker in order to make your vision of the driving experience of the future a reality?
So I think for autonomous driving, obviously there's a lot of debates on regulatory approvals and all these things. That's one part. But then for the connectivity itself, I think the investments in network infrastructure are obviously critical in order to have the best data connection.
But will you be dependent on the mobile phone operators, or do you think that you're going to work more with satellite companies? Is that more reliable?
No, it's the mobile network operators, where the car OEMs have teamed up with for the 5G implementation. So 5G will be really important for autonomous driving because of the high bandwidth throughput. For the services part we talked about in the last 20 minutes, I think a consistent 4G network with good coverage is largely sufficient for the next years.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.